Good afternoon. I'm pleased to join you for the 40th Annual Small Business Forum. And I want to begin by thanking the staff in the Office of the Advocate for Small Business Capital Formation for your efforts in putting this event together. Martha, I believe this is the third time your office has hosted the forum, and you've had to contend with pandemic conditions now for 2 of those 3 forums, and you and your staff have, not surprisingly, made sure that the quality of the event didn't suffer, and if anything, you've taken the opportunity to innovate and enhance the format, so thank you for that. And notwithstanding how successful this event has been in a virtual setting, I am hopeful that we can come together in person for next year's event. I would really welcome the opportunity to sit down and talk with all of you face to face. In addition to the staff, I want to thank today's speakers and participants for contributing their time and expertise. I look forward to this event each year, in part because of the emphasis on collaboration. For one thing, it provides us with an opportunity to deepen our engagement with the small business community. But our statutory mandate also requires that we invite other regulators. And this calls on the Commission to think about the broader regulatory landscape and how we can learn from one another and work together with our regulatory partners to promote capital formation and investment opportunity while protecting investors. I also like that the event serves as an opportunity for us to reflect on our progress since the previous year's forum. Last year, we were in the early months of adjusting and responding to the pandemic and still evaluating its implications for small businesses. Now, 1 year later, we're beginning to emerge from the pandemic conditions, and we can look back on an ambitious year of regulatory changes, many of which were responsive to the recommendations coming out of last year's forum. Among other things, last year, the Commission amended the accredited investor definition to provide for additional avenues to qualify. We raised offering limits for Regulation A and Regulation crowdfunding offerings. We relaxed certain disclosure requirements under Reg D, and we extended certain relief that was granted on a temporary basis to crowdfunding issuers for an additional 18 months. But this is by no means a complete list, either of our rulemaking in the last year or even just of our rulemaking affecting the exempt offering framework. But it's notable both for the sheer volume of policy work done by the Commission staff in challenging circumstances, and also for the focus on the private markets. So as we look ahead, having made a tremendous number of changes designed to open up access to private investment opportunities, I ask you to consider the corresponding investor protections that may be appropriate to help ensure that investors in the private markets can assess and bear the risks of those investments and to increase investor confidence in these markets. For instance, now that we've opened the door to alternative methods for qualifying as accredited, shouldn't we consider how to ensure that the financial thresholds in the accredited investor definition, which are still the principal investor protection in this space, that they don't continue to erode in effectiveness? And specifically, shouldn't we consider whether those thresholds, which have been unchanged since 1983, should be updated and indexed to inflation going forward? After all, what is the sense of having financial thresholds if there is no mechanism to make adjustments to account for the passage of time? And I also note that last year's forum indicated a particular focus on underrepresented founders. The emphasis on women and minority-owned businesses has continued throughout this year and resulted in very helpful recommendations from both the Small Business Capital Formation Advisory Committee and the Investor Advisory Committee. And these recommendations are focused on increasing investment and capital formation opportunities for diverse founders and investors. But we still need your insight to better understand how to translate those broad recommendations into action and how we can tailor policy changes to address the specific challenges faced by underrepresented communities. So I hope that you'll keep that in mind as you think through your recommendations during the course of the forum. And again, I just want to say thank you to all of you for your time, and I look forward to your recommendations.